Hello, everybody, and welcome back for our second series pre-show here between Dignitas Academy and Golden Guardians Academy. Once again, I got Cubby and Rafa. Rafa, I just hear you're freshly hydrated and you got your tea on you because that was an insane series.
My throat was dying.
Wrapped up.
And that was a banger game. I hate that we overuse that word, but it truly was.
You know, we've got six, so I hope you're ready. You're in good shape.
Pace yourself. Pace yourself, Rafa. And on that note, we say banger a lot. And then we stopped saying it, so I think now it's cyclical. Now it's okay to say it again, right?
Because you say that, we're going to overuse it, but let's get into the matchup for the next one.
Life's all about cycles. Dignitas Academy versus Golden Guardians Academy. Dignitas on the roster first here. I want to hear about this team because this is one of those ones that we've seen come together against some big powerhouse teams, but the individual performers sometimes not always stepping up. It's about the teamwork.
It's power friendship, man. And I know that sounds like a meme, but these guys are really good friends outside of the game. They hang out a lot together, and the Dignitas management team, socials, and coaching staff have been really great at just getting these guys to interact with each other and be social. And I think that really helps because it shows in how they are willing to commit as a five-man unit, even to some of the plays that don't look that great on paper.
True, but they make it look good, right? I think this is one of those teams, we use this term occasionally, the sum is greater, or the total is greater than the sum of its parts, I believe, because they actually make those decisions at the same time. They always commit, and sometimes that can just take teams by surprise. But their opposition on the Rift is tough today, Cubby, because they will be opposite of Golden Guardians Academy. Second place in the standings right now with some incredible firepower that they're packing on this roster.
Ever since these guys got thumped by 100 Thieves Next in the Proving Grounds OQ1, they have come back with a vengeance, and it really feels like this team has rounded out their identity. They're playing multiple strategies really well, and I think pound for pound, they are one of the strongest teams we have. I mean, not only in the standings, but I think these guys are gunning for that top seed. And the players for me who are really stepping up, I think it's across the board, but it's hard not to talk about Stixay and Chime in this squad because I think the variety of bot lanes they've been able to show, and then the quality that they're playing, any style that GG elects to play through, it's been Stixay and Chime really leveling up this split, and it's going to be really fun to watch Stixay go up against Spawn, because I think these are two of the better marksmen that we have in this split of Academy.
You already brought it up, so let's talk about it. The bot lane matchup is what we want to highlight going into this best of two series, because mostly from the Golden Guardian side, Stixay and Chime have been on an absolute tear, Rafa, but JJ and Spawn, again, they do have a lot of synergy that they built up.
And you have to remember that these are the two returning members of Dignitas Academy from the prior split in the prior year of 2021. Spawn making his Academy debut last year alongside JJ, the most experienced player on this team. Spawn went from a player that was known in amateur for being weak side and receiving a lot of little resources on Polar Ace. He was the Ash King, but now this time around, he has been stepping more into a strong damage and strong primary carry for the sides of Dignitas. And we have talked a lot about this team being, oh, it's about XU, he is the early game engine, but we often overshadow how much JJ and Spawn bring as a contribution to this team as a strong do-man core.
Now, when we talk about their what they're able to provide, oftentimes from JJ, it's that engage. It's that ability to go in and start the fights off, Cubby. And looking at the champ pool, definitely reflected. Plays a lot of that Nautilus pick.
It's a favorite, and I think the interesting part for Dig and this game is that I think the first series we had today, it's two pretty different styles. When it's CLG clashing against C9, CLG, looking to get started early, looking to play 3 lanes for the majority of their games. I think these two teams actually have pretty similar styles. I think we've been seeing Golden Guardians have a lot of success putting Tony Top on things like Orn and Gragas. He's undefeated in 7 games with both of those picks combined. And Stixay is putting up the most damage per minute out of any marksman that we have and any player that we have right now in Academy. So when we see that, also see Spawn having similar gold diffs at 15, both of these teams really rely and play through their bot lanes, and it's definitely where our focus is going into this series.
So, Rafa, you just heard he's got the most damage. How many, where do you think Stixay lands in the most kills in the split?
It's got to be at the top of the charts, at least.
He's top by a long shot.
Yeah.
He's number 1 by like 20. So So it's, yeah, the stats don't lie. The stats reflect what we see on the Rift from Golden Guardians bot lane. And Cubby, when you say that they have similar play styles, then is this a concern for Dignitas? Because Golden Guardians in this play style look really good.
It's interesting because I feel like Golden Guardians have also showed some flexibility. Ryoma's always been known for being facilitative in the mid lane. And we saw yesterday, like, them playing Camille Rise and using that to beat a Zeri. So I think I'm interested to see what Golden Guardians' approach is, because I think that they've shown a lot of success playing multiple styles. Whereas I think Dig, no matter what Eclipse is playing the top side, I somewhat expect for him to be on his own. We did see XU really help Eclipse in the first game of the series yesterday. It was a really nice sign of growth from both those players and Dignitas. Want to see if that continues in this series today.
And we won't have to wait long, Cubby, because Champ Select is ready right now. So I'm going to pass it over to Rafa and Cubby to take us away for game 1 of our second series of the day.
Because Kangas is passing me. You can't see it, but virtually he is passing me this invisible mic now, and I'm going to take it in my hand. And you know what? Never mind. The bit is dead. It's not as funny as I thought it was going to be.
I don't get to talk.
See, Kangas does this stuff better than I can, which is why he is the host and I'm not. I'm just the dude that just shouts at things when happens on screen, you know? When chaos erupts, you know, I just go crazy. And now we are into the draft for this first series.
I like both. And something that you teased early in this one is that XU really is the locomotive, as we've been saying, that gets Dignitas running, gets that party bus going. Golden Guardians seem to recognize that, and already throwing 2 bans over at XU, I think his 2 strongest champions that he's shown in this split of Academy, Lee Sin and Jarvan, both taken off the table.
Something of the adaptation that we saw from XU was leaning towards a champion like Hecarim that does take a little longer to come online and requires a little bit more reserved in the first 3 to 5 minutes of the game, but it's something that XU still feels comfortable going for, but it does change the windows of where he can be proactive and how fast he can act using that agency against Golden Guardians.
And on the flip side, Dignitas already showing some respect to Stixxay, taking away both the Zeri and the Jinx, but this leaves up Stixxay's legendary Caitlyn. It's 4-1 this split across all levels of play, and it's going to be Stixxay busting that out again.
Dude got a pentakill with this champion at MSI in 2016. How about that for a throwback, man? But Spawn's going to answer back with a Jhin. One of the few champions that a lot of the pro players have liked as an answer into the Caitlyn. You have all-in potential against this, but we expect that the answer will be a Lux for Chime. It has been the most common support pairing with the Caitlyn so far.
It has been. Golden Guardians, though, they've been the one bot lane that I've actually seen execute Kate Thresh rather well. It's harder to chain the traps, but Chime loves the Thresh. It's his most played. I think he plays it well into the Nautilus, is always hitting those Void Timers to make sure that auto attack doesn't come through. And I'm curious if we see Golden Guardians, they have the option where they could wait for support pick, knowing that they have other picks to pair with the Caitlyn, or if they try and switch things up and go for that, because Lux in the Jhin Nautilus definitely is at risk of getting one shot, especially in the early stages of the game. So wondering if we see a swap coming in from Golden Guardians because of that. And that's going to be a big swap. We haven't seen this pick in a long time, Rafa.
Is this going to be a Morgana? Is this our first support Morgana of the Academy split?
You know what? I'm going to put our stats guy, Kangas, up to the task to see if this is our first support Morgana.
Get on it, Kangas!
Yeah, I haven't seen this in a while, but it's something that, much like the Lux, with that Dark Binding, you can chain the traps, I believe, after you put 2 points into the Dark Binding. It's 2 or 3. And then you have that Black Shield to try and prevent the Nautilus. So a switch coming in from Chime. And this is something I know, talking with Chime before this series, he felt like him and Stixxay, I asked him, like, do you guys feel like you're the best bot lane in the Academy? And Chime, of course, always being modest and humble, is like, I don't know. Like, we haven't played against enough of the bot lanes yet. But one thing I will give us credit for is that we have adopted more styles. I feel like I've evolved my play to be able to fit whatever team composition that we're running. This is yet another example of Chime doing that. This is a new pick brought to the table. Let's see how this Morgana does.
And it's something that we have seen in the past in competitive play. Morgana coming out as a champion or as a pick to things like the Thresh and the Leona of metas dominated beforehand. As we are heading into the ban phase, though, Golden
Take it
Guardians,
away.
yeah, they react by saying, hey, you know what? XU also did have a pretty solid game on the Hecarim, but that now forces the Udyr ban from Dignitas, knowing that there would have been the trade of the two Ghost junglers, and so this Graves, it's a double-handed ban because
It is.
Eclipse and XU both play it.
I'm wondering if we see Viego for XU. It is something that Udyr can get up in the face of Viego, and it's a decent matchup. Maybe that takeaway is something that XU signifies that he might want. It's also a takeaway from Iconic, as it is his second most played and one of his best champions that we have seen. And that will indeed be the Viego. Now, on the flip side for Golden Guardians, Xin Zhao should be insta-locked. This is fine. This is Iconic's most played. And now Tony Top, his blind picks have been mostly Gwen and Renekton, but we've also seen him play really well on the Gragas and the Ornn. It will be the Renekton. And now we'll have to see if Eclipse answers. Gragas is tough to play into Morgana because that Black Shield can break your combo. So I'm wondering if we see Eclipse maybe go for the Ornn.
There's no Wind Wall or Unbreakable to make the Ornn pick as difficult for Eclipse. Still plenty of options if you would like some more frontline for this team. But Dignitas saying, you know what? No, Nautilus is all the frontline we need. We are going to give our tools to Eclipse and empower him with this Fiora counter.
Okay, this matchup is really fun because a lot of it comes down to that parry. And that is most Fiora matchups, but this one's a little bit tougher to read on the Renekton because his stun, it's you can bluff it as Tony Top, but Eclipse should be taking grasp, should be going for a lot of this Q trades to kind of try and distance yourself from the Renekton early. But then once you hit that spike where you feel like you can win, Fiora scales out of control in the side lane. And we'll win both side lanes against this Renekton Rise. So I want to see if Golden Guardians with Ryoma can use this Rise, that early priority, to get out of the lane early and try and snowball this top side. Because if you take Fiora out of the game, it's going to be really tough for Dignitas to come back. That is their split push win condition. And if you get Renekton winning, you're going to have a winning bot lane with this Caitlyn Morg. Could be really tough for Dignitas. Their map will shrink fast.
Side lanes for Golden Guardians have the push priority in both sides of the map here, which gives Iconic a lot of options in whether he wants to be aggressive and invade against the likes of XU, or if he wants to look for dives setting up. Now, diving the bot lane against the Nautilus when you have Morgana as your support means that the Xin Zhao or the Caitlyn has to be the one that is tanking the turret aggro, either using the rage advantage that you have or just trying to brute force it with your HP. It makes it a little bit more difficult against bot lane, therefore, in the end. But against top lane, Fiora is a squishy champion early on, and you have the power of this Renekton and Xin Zhao and Ryoma to roam on up and make Eclipse's life super miserable.
Before we hop into this game, I do want to honor our production team and our wonderful stats guy, Steve Kangas. It is indeed the first Morgana of the split in Academy, according to Oracle's Elixir. Thanks
Let's
for good friend
go.
Tim. And we'll have to
Good
see
stuff, Kangas.
if Chime is able to execute this. It's a good matchup into the Nautilus. I know that Chime and Stixay, they were saying, they have some more things up their sleeve. This is a good example. Going to give them a lot of safety in the 5v5, and still does similar things to the Kate Lux lane, just a little bit less damage and more safety.
Dignitas rushed on over, putting a ward down in the very first bush of their bottom lane, whereas Golden Guardians maintained middle bush control. JJ swapping back for a sweeper. And the rest of Dignitas don't make any proactive moves on the top side of the map, evade, or trying to invade aggressively into the top quadrant of Golden Guardians. So not really any shenanigans going to happen between these two teams. And when we look at the pathing for something like a Viego for XU, this changes things a lot, because a lot of the agency that you're used to having on things like the Lee Sin and the Jarvan and even the Xin Zhao is one of his other most played champions. It's not quite the same for Viego. You have powerful skirmishes, but you only have one CC ability, and that's not usually enough to be that empowering.
Something that XU is going to have to be careful about in these duels. Now, the good news for Dig, if they get resets, I think that's the way back in. Getting resets and breaking this early game. But the Golden Guardians early game is going to be really tough. You have Prio in all three lanes. Ryoma can get out of lane. We know how powerful Rise can be if he is attacking those side lanes. And something that Golden Guardians is going to have to worry about, or Dig's going to have to worry about. See early trading, and Golden Guardians getting a little bit out on top in the bot lane, as we're going to see XU go Red Raptors to the bot side. Looks like Iconic's going for the full clear.
Iconic wants to end up on the bottom side of the map, not looking for necessarily the pressure against Tony Top and Eclipse's top lane matchup. A lot of damage has been exchanged, but Ignite going down into JJ has to flash away. Stixxay is still half HP, but still 2 more pots that he can chug on, whereas Spawn also has a similar HP pot count here, but JJ is so low. He has to recall, and he's still only level 1.
Credit to Stixxay and Chime. They popped the heal before the Ignite was popped by JJ, so the max heal, whereas Spawn popped his heal after the Ignite was dropped by Chime. So that's why JJ has to burn the flash, and that's why JJ has to reset. And Iconic, skipping over the Raptors, trying to get to bot in time. We'll see if XU decides to walk bot.
Tommy.
We're close. It was close. It was almost a flash trade.
Yeah, Dark Wings was a little bit in danger there. Oh, Ryoma flashing forward, but the minion interrupting the last block there. Oh, so close for Ryoma.
I respect the attempt. That will take away a bit of the power of Ryoma if he tries to go towards the side lane, but I think it's okay as he will get a later reset after crashing that wave. Just has to get out of this gank from XU.
And XU, yeah, he has flash advantage.
Okay.
It's just a big wave, making sure that Ryoma cannot store it. Oh, Eclipse looking for the flash. Tony Top, not even needing to burn flash. He's out.
Okay. Action in the solo lanes early, Rafa. A lot of summoners burned. This does open things up for the junglers.
Oh, no, wait. JJ doesn't have flash from before. It's a lot of damage. The trap doesn't quite connect, but still allows him to get the headshot damage. Chime, if he can get one more cooldown out, but it doesn't come up in time.
Okay, a lot of summoner spells are down. I'm curious to see what happens with each of these junglers on the second clear, Rafa, because it feels like it is all-you-can-eat buffet for both XU and Iconic. There are flashes down in every single lane. It's just about where they can attack. I feel like this helps Golden Guardians with their early game plan, but it's up to them to make that play, try and break things open, and utilize the pushing lanes they have early.
Right now, Golden Guardian still enacting on their push war in the bottom side of the map. Ooh. Huge Dark Binding from over the wall. Not really followed up by Stixxay as he is just maintaining pressure through crashing this wave, but Ryoma and Iconic getting in position to potentially push them off the wave, and Spawn and JJ are respecting the threat of it.
Was a nice ward that ended up spotting Iconic on the rotate, so Dignitas will back off and we pay their respects to what Golden Guardians could attempt, as it is a lot of flashes burned early. It is a small gold lead over to Golden Guardians thanks to their laning phase, but I think importantly for Dig, nothing's been broken, because that's the big concern you have against a Rise as in Zhao is, you know, that is the potential to just nuke a lane, take him out of the game. That has not happened yet for the side of Dig.
Nice shot from Tony Top, baiting out the riposte early from Eclipse, and then going in with the stun. Oh, Tony Top might look for the solo kill here. Yep, empowered Q, baby. First blood for Tony Top.
It's getting that flash out early. Eclipse, we talked about the buying game with the parry. When you're not able to find it, that's when Tony Top's able to win the matchup, and he puts that Fiora in the dirt. The counter pick not paying off, as Eclipse gonna lose a wave. Already down 2 waves in that matchup. And for Tony Top, his Renekton's 3 and 6. One of the big criticisms that we have had of Tony Top is that his blind pick pool outside the Gwen has not been great. Good sign for him taking that Renekton, beating this counter matchup. He's played it really well on the top side. Starts to buff up that Renekton win rate and give Golden Guardians a lane they can play through just based on his own solo play in the top lane.
And we had a lot of expectations for how this matchup would play, not just the top lane individually, but the overall game. It's great for Tony Top to be able to find this advantage, and now Golden Guardians want to push this even further, making sure that Ryoma is safe and pushing this wave out. But because JJ shows alongside XU, they can't go for the dive, but if they overextend a little too far forward, they can look for the bamboozle. Dark Bind, but XU dodges out, and a flash away keeps him alive. Can JJ get out, though? It's Iconic who flashes forward with the 3-town strike, gets the knock-up, but JJ still gets out.
I feel like that's one where Golden Guardians might have been able to wait for Ryoma to start with the point and click and then follow up with the Dark Binding, but not the case. Dark Binding goes wide, XU's able to sneak out, and Dignitas avoid a catastrophe in the mid lane, but this could still snowball into more. JJ's chunked out. Iconic is spotted. They are still posturing for this dive. It's not deterring him. They want to push forward.
Chime has flash in case he wants to use it to lock down one of these 2 characters, but JJ and Spawn just back off, wait for the wave, and it's plates earned for Golden Guardians.
what I'd love to see from Caitlyn drafts, Caitlyn getting plates early. That's why you take this pick. And Golden Guardians, it's been Stixxay and Chime alone, but also now Iconic supporting in the right place at the right time. Also helps that Tony Top got ahead on the top side. Everything is coming up really nice for Golden Guardians is on their own. Rafa, it has not been a single kill participation from Iconic. These winning lanes, a 2K gold lead before the 8-minute mark for Golden Guardians.
That's the power of Golden Guardians using this early game-oriented draft, using the priority gain from both of the solo lanes, as well as the side lane as well for Stixxay and Chime. And Iconic, he hasn't really gotten ganks off that has burned summoner spells, but he's just been there building pressure and forcing members away from the safety of their turrets. So even if they don't get kills, he is still doing his job, facilitating the rest of his team members to get gold.
One bright spot for Dig is that XU, I guess, is a little bit ahead in camps. So someone, of course, on the Viego, if you are able to find those resets, that's what Dignitas are looking for to try and turn its game on its head. But until then, and especially given this top lane lead, you can see Golden Guardians. This is the power of winning top this hard. It is minimal rotation and investment from Golden Guardians to make sure they get this Rift Herald. It is a crab, enemy crab spotting this out. They don't care. It is Dignitas on a reset. They have to seed this. Golden Guardians just brute forcing this objective. No contest from Dignitas. Rift Herald falls, and they can easily use this to break open that bot lane turret for Stixxay. And that's where things get even more deadly for Dignitas, because how do you stop this Caitlyn?
And you see that Dignitas were trying to make a move, rotate on over to the Rift Herald, but because they're just a little too late to the play, JJ and Spawn spent a lot of time walking over to the top side. They don't commit to a lane swap of any sort, so they walk back towards the bottom side of the map. So Stixxay has gotten not only more CS, but also solo experience in the lane as well.
And that's also the power of having winning lanes. You get to rotate first. So Golden Guardians, they get the shove, they base, they're first on the map, they get to go take that rift. And there's no way for Dig to break this game plan, Rafa. It just feels like it's 3 winning lanes in a winning jungle matchup for Golden Guardians. And it's really going to take a huge wombo combo with Nautilus, Orianna, getting Viego a reset to try and break this.
Dark Wings could be the next target here. Ryoma aggressively positioning forward. The flash point-and-click route into the Dark Bind. That is a clean plan set up from Golden Guardians.
That's what I was hoping they were going to do in that jungle skirmish on Dignitas' side of the map, where we saw the Dark Binding open and go wide. Golden Guardians, learning from that misexecution, able to pull this one off nicely. It is 2 flashes invested, but it's still Golden Guardians pushing themselves further and further ahead.
Giving Ryoma solo time in the lane, experience lead over Dark Wings, and priority setting up for this dragon. Golden Guardians have successfully not only netted themselves a solid 3,000 gold lead in the first 10 minutes, but also the first 2 objectives as well.
And Aaron's still down. Ryoma with that solo kill. He was able to get shoved. He has the blue buff. He's going to attack Eclipse in the top side. Oh.
But we have an all-in onto the bottom lane. Chime, knowing that his flash is down, tries to lock him down with the curtain call. Nice. A flash forward from XU. It's not even a flash. It's just the root. He takes over Chime's body. They have possess, and Dignitas answer back.
Nice guess on XU there with where Chime would dodge. They punished the flash being down, as you pointed out, Rafa. But Golden Guardians, they answered on the top side. Ryoma, he was the one who made that first play. They get the flash off Eclipse, and 2 plates go over to Tony Top. So even the first play that Dignitas make that's good for them on the map, it's still Golden Guardians trading up across the map.
And still the 3,000 gold lead on their side. Yeah, actually, 2.5. So it's been somewhat short up, but still a really solid advantage for Golden Guardians. Tony Top building off of the pressure thanks to Ryoma, as you already mentioned before, roaming on up. And Ryoma knowing that he still has enough movement speed to lock him down. Dark Wings has flash and ghost available, so... And knowing his limits, he's not going to be in as much danger as maybe they thought they were putting him into.
I think moving forward for Golden Guardians, you got to believe that Iconic is going to use Shelly bot. You want to get Caitlyn out of that wave. Maybe Dignitas can set up a play to punish the flashes being down from Golden Guardians bot lane. I think that could be the best case scenario, but meanwhile, our observers, shout out to Leche, he's looking at Iconic, and I'm looking at that Rift Herald timer, Rafa. I feel like he's going to be forced to throw it down top, and I think they're going to get first brick for this Renekton.
Shout outs to Leche. And then giving us the zoom-ins on the champions, the camera moves that we don't deserve.
He's got to throw down Shelly soon. That's starting to run out. We're getting close.
Yeah, we're also 2 minutes away from plates expiring on all turrets across the map. No objectives to really play for either. So Iconic, now that he's backing away from the top side of the map, I imagine that they're just going to throw it down bottom lane.
You got to drop it, buddy.
Oh,
Iconic.
wait, he's actually about to run out. And literally,
Throw it
like
down,
5
man.
seconds. Okay, it's going to be a mid lane play.
Okay. Okay.
I
was getting worried there
You guys
for a
couldn't
sec.
see, but I have Cubby's camera on my other monitor, and Cubby is just like grasping at his hair and pulling it out. It's like, please, please
I was getting a little
use it.
stressed out.
I think Cubby has been in too many solo queue games where his autofilled jungler has not used the Rift Herald after picking it up, and especially when it's the first one, oh man, it's a doomer.
Well, first off, I haven't played solo queue yet this split, so that's a dub. Second off, I do have to pause. Tony Top, he's found Eclipse. Parry game,
And
he
no
found
flash
it.
available. Tony Top should be able to kill this one. Flash!
Yep.
Call of the Meek.
Easy peasy for Tony Top. Now, something I do want to cycle back with when it comes to the Rift Herald. This is something that we saw Golden Guardians actually mess up in the 100 Thieves Next series and the amateur bracket. They threw it down top in a game like this where they broke it too early. Didn't snowball. I have to pause because the play continues.
Spawn is under fire right now, and Ryoma's the one that follows through, gets the finishing blow. Spawn is taken down.
Ryoma getting back out on the map on the rise. Is going to get this base stopped. JJ should be able to live. I want to return to this Rift Herald. Oh.
Wait,
Oh.
whoa, wait, what?
Okay. An attempt that... It was close. If he found him in tower range, that would have been good. Not quite. But first brick still falls for Stixay.
I'm sorry.
So something that
That's
I did
funny.
like from Golden Guardians, they get 2 turrets before plates drop. But something that I was critical of in their series against Hunter Next and Amateur was they threw a Rift Herald down top too early. So they broke the turret. They gave Hunter Next and Sniper the ability to actually turtle in the top side, and they messed up the rotation. So I think by throwing that Rift Herald mid, I know it was late, but they actually kept their winning lanes a little bit longer, were able to bleed out their opponents even more, and now they broke 2 of the outers in time, and Golden Guardians are still off to the races, and that by doing that just prevents another way that Dignitas could get back in the game by freezing one of those lanes that you were already losing really hard. So I do want to credit Golden Guardians for that. As this team continues to grow, we have said ever since they got 3-0'd by 100 Next in Amateur, they've really stepped it up. That's one example of a very notable improvement I've seen out of them in this one.
And this is what we have been seeing from not just Golden Guardians, but also in our prior series today, and why we're so excited as the regular season for Academy is coming to a close. Development and improvement from past games, learning from what went wrong in them, and just making stronger plays in the runbacks of these compositions. And Golden Guardians, now that you've already pointed out, Tony Top and Ryoma pushing out these side lanes right now as they're getting ready with this second Rift Herald they've picked up in Iconic's hands. They can now barrel up, group up as 5, and bust open the map through the mid lane.
And you can see Stixay and Shime already. Ryoma looking to go in between turrets. That's what you know
He's got
things are
flash
bad.
again. He's going to do it. Can they
Oh.
follow up? Ace in the hole. Not going to quite connect because JJ was there body blocking it, but they have more to deal with and worry about Eclipse. Getting sought out in the jungle with XU. Tony Top picks up this one, and look at this, Cubby. It is just absolute destruction. JJ tries to engage, but he gets blown up. He's just not that tanky at this point in the game. It's too early. XU getting hit by the Dark Binding. Golden Guardian's going to push on forward. XU gets locked down as well. That's 2 turrets in the mid lane, and this game has just been blown wide open.
Gonna be a dragon on the back half. Tony Top taking the top inner, and Dignitas reaching for these engages because they know how dire the situation is. It's an 8k gold deficit. As we just saw the first and third teams in Academy go toe-to-toe, Golden Guardians is a second place team in Academy. Holy cow, man. This is one of the cleanest games we've seen out of them all split as we're getting a replay. Ryoma knows that he's level 11, knows he's ahead of the curve on this rise, able to chunk out Spawn, and look at how well Golden Guardians are able to catch this in as it's a nice force from Iconic off the back half of JJ going down.
At this point, Dignitas are just scrambling to try and find a way back into this game. Just Golden Guardians being able to commit so strongly together. And now that Dignitas are in a point where so much of the map is gone, they have to resort to desperate plays like this.
And we'll see if Ryoma pokes his head out, as he is at least going to have a black shield, maybe. Chime.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's sniffing this out.
Ryoma's like, wait, I need help. Oh, please.
He saved him.
Oh, God, Shockwave barely dodged out here, and now XU going way too far forward,
man.
trying to dive forward. At this point, I can't blame them. They're super far behind, but Golden Guardians are just answering beautifully. Chime off the back of that play. Ryoma interrupting more on the escape route. They answer back, take down Ryoma, but Iconic still looking for more.
Chime flashed into the pit to land that binding. That was nasty from Chime. Keep in mind, this is the first Morgana we haven't even seen from him, but in all of Academy. Love watching him cash in on this pick. And as Golden Guardians continues to smash this game, I do want to cycle back something that Chime said at the pregame. We've given Stixxay and Chime a ton of credit. They've been really upping. They've one of the strongest bot lanes that we have in Academy. But he said, I feel like the rest of our team has been getting enough credit around this. And this has been a team win from Golden Guardians. Tony Top destroyed that lane on his own. Iconic helped to blow open both mid and bot, and we've seen how much these players have been able to run with it. As GG, they're looking for a Dancing Shelly, man. That's a free 20-minute inhibitor, and they can't end soon.
Yeah, 18 minutes, sub 20 minutes. The Baron hasn't even spawned yet, and they're threatening to kill Dignitas members in their home, in their base. XU is looking for a counter response right now, but they just cannot look for anything because Golden Guardians are way too strong. And just to circle back to what you said, Stixxay and Chime, they're the ones that really brought the change to this draft. The Caitlyn was left open. They first picked it. And the first time Morgana on the Rift as well. It is making huge dividends here. Tony Top getting threatened here. Dominus will be popped.
Okay.
Will flash over the wall. Eclipse falling forward. Wants the proc.
Okay.
It's a shutdown for Dignitas. And maybe Golden Guardians have just overextended their welcome here. Dignitas will fight back.
Good from Dig. They're going to need like 5 more of those. But hey, that's a start as Golden Guardians. Too many CDs burned, taking that top lane inhibitor. A little bit of an overextension. Get punished by Dig, who one of the things we really credit Dig for, of course, pulling the trigger together. Dig is a team that is always going to fight back from behind as we get a second look here. And yeah, Tony Top, a little bit aggressive, trying to rotate over that wall to help his team siege mid. They could have just reset, but not the case. They get split, caught out. Dig pick up 2. Give themselves a little bit of gold to work with. Don't expect this to be, we're still looking at the same result, but, you know, good plays by Dig.
You got to do something, right? And that's one thing about Dignitas as well. They're not ever passengers in their game. Sometimes it's for better or for worse.
I wouldn't say sometimes. I'd say always.
Yeah, it's always better for or for worse. You never get a middle ground from Dignitas. You get either extreme. And that's what makes them so exciting to watch. And right now, this is definitely a game where Golden Guardians have just played a way better game than Dignitas. But Dignitas are still not going to let this win come so easily from Golden Guardians. They will demand that Golden Guardians pry their corpses away from the base.
They're going to have to do it by finding their way into Baron. It's going to be tough as right now Darkwings is managing the super creeps in the top side. And Stixxay, fun thing you do on Caitlyn, attack the Baron over this wall.
650 range. Nice privilege here. Chime doing his best job to body block and make sure that XU cannot get into the pit. He's making his way dangerously close here. Shockwave, but the Black Shield prevents Stixxay from getting interrupted. And he just blows up Darkwings off of a Gale Force combo.
Oh, the Stixxay Caitlyn, man. It is one of the best champions in his career. You highlighted that MSI performance. It's 4-1 so far this split, looking to move to 5-1. And we've seen why it's been pretty much permabanned away from Golden Guardians because Dig thought they had a plan to beat it. Jhin can manage that Caitlyn lane, but when you draft 3 winning lanes, a winning jungle matchup, that's tough to give over to any team, especially Golden Guardians. They've cashed in on this tenfold. That's the Baron. That's the push for the mid inhibitor. Things are looking to fall rather soon.
2 inhibitors now down against Dignitas Academy. 10,000 gold down as well. This is a huge deficit, and we've noted before, it is usually a point of no return, but just look at how well Golden Guardians as a whole are doing to maintain this lead. Tony Top making sure that he's pushing in the side lanes. Ryoma also doing his diligence and making sure that he is protecting Stixxay and Chime as they go forward for the siege. As Stixxay is the one that has to be the one that is pushing forward aggressively and has the range advantage. They are taking the Hextech portals, guaranteeing priority in the bottom jungle quadrant, and Golden Guardians doing everything by the book.
Yeah, no party bus for Dig this time around. It's Locomotive never got going. what the bus stalled. I don't think the bus ever left the building.
Hey man, sometimes the party bus just never got enough gas to get going.
Oh, there it
you know?
is.
There
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Roth. I was looking for one.
You were searching for it. And then for Golden Guardians, they stole the gasoline away. They're stealing all their structures
That's illegal.
away.
I don't know if we want to talk about that, but you know, I think Golden Guardians. It's been across the board. Just solid performance from them, and they're looking to wrap things up cleanly here on the last push as
JJ looking for the engage, but it's Golden Guardians that answer back beautifully. Tony Top doing a great job being the front line for the squad. Chime flashing forward, but a shockwave answer from Darkwings will net them one back onto Tony Top, but it's Stixay, the man who brought this pick back at MSI in 2016, and he's making it work. Will go down, but it's still a triple kill in the end, and Golden Guardians will still be pushing forward up to Spawn and Darkwings. I don't know if they can actually stall this one out. And even if they can't take down these Nexus turrets as Golden Guardians, they still have one more inhibitor structure to take down.
Yeah, I think they're going to retreat to this bot side as things get a little bit sloppy for Golden Guardians. Stixay was going for the big play. Managed to pick up 3 before he was taken down. We'll see if Golden Guardians can walk away with this inhibitor. Looks like the spawn timers from Dig will be short enough to make sure they aren't able to stick around for more, and at least Dig are able to hold strong.
Dignitas holding on to the remaining structures of their base as much as they can. Take a look at this replay as there was quite a lot of chaos happening, but nice responses from Dignitas holding on.
So the stun from Eclipse is big because it opened up the window for XU to dive in, gets a big heal on all of Dig. But man, Stixay on this Caitlyn, watching him just chain the traps, drop it at his feet. He is still so clean on this pick. It always has been so clean on this pick throughout his career. Just a real pleasure to watch a Caitlyn player this good play. Oh man,
dude, he is trying to run down JJ. I imagine if that Peacemaker had connected,
it would have been close.
That was a dead Nautilus.
He had the collector. He had the dopamine hit ready.
Bang. Collector Gale Force is such a rush when you're this ahead as the Caitlyn, because especially with the rapid fire cannon as well, you got a headshot proc in there. You combo with a couple other spells, and Stixay is just living the dream right now. Dignitas might have found a pick onto Ryoma Eclipse, popping the grand challenge, flashing over the wall. Needs 2 more procs here, but he has no CC, so Ryoma will be able to just realm warp and say, hey guys, what's up? I'm back.
He does have the teleport if he wants it, but that is stop, spawn.
Curtain call, getting slows down on the Tony Top and Iconic, but they just make their way out. It's just Dignitas trying to push them back out of their base.
It is still a 10k gold lead. Golden Guardians, we still expect them to be able to wrap this up. They do have both empowered TPs if they want it. If they want to really push for this, that's one. We'll see if the second one is cast.
This is Tony Top immediately dashing back.
Nope.
Goes back in. Dignitas maintaining their space. JJ locking down the Crocodile. Do they have the damage to follow up? It's a flash forward. Shockwave connects on Iconic and Ryoma, but they're still pressing forward. Chime barely missing the Dark Binding, but it did force out the Heartbreaker from XU. Dignitas, the last defend. Can they do it? I don't think it's going to be possible because Golden Guardians are just so damn strong off of a well-played early game. Stixay and Chime leading the charge. Ryoma and Iconic and Tony Top also doing great work in their roles respectively this game. This has been just a fantastic textbook game from Golden Guardians, and now almost every single structure has been unlocked, but Eclipse is still looking to stall this one out. Dignitas doing the best that they can. Eclipse is now in the middle of 5 people, but Stixay finds 2, looking for a third here. XU has found the reset onto Ryoma, but can he clean up through the rest?
That's 3.
It's a triple for Stixay. Can he relive it? He wants the pennant so bad, but he can't get a Rage of Darkwings. He's back in the fountain, looking for auto attacks. Piltover Peacemaker will not connect. He's going to make his way on over to spawn, but Dignitas just making them drag this one out, and Golden Guardians say, enough of this, let's take the dub.
10-1-3 on Stixay, and as easy as it is to sing his praises, he is the one picking up the kills. That was a team win from Golden Guardians.
Yes.
I mean, top to bottom, everyone played so well that game. And I think as we get deeper into the season, I mean, that's a game where once you get 2 winning lanes as Golden Guardians, it's almost like, how clean can we make this win? And it was really only the one slip-up that we saw. And it was after the game was already pretty much over. Right? You had a 12k gold lead in the Golden Guardians pockets as I cannot say enough good things. That draft, you have the winning lanes, you have the ability to make plays in the jungle. Golden Guardians used that to the fullest and just took away any chance that Dig had to get into that game. That was start to finish, very clean win from GG.
The other thing too, as we are closing out the regular season, almost at the end of week 6 here, we are making a conscious effort to really show and highlight individual players and just help give them the recognition they deserve. This is so hard because everyone from Golden Guardians stepped up and played their role to a perfect T, or just barely, almost, right?
I got this. We praise the coach, Acadian. Solved.
We found it.
Team win.
Good shit, man. Oh,
all right, set of the break.
We'll be back when we come after this break. Kangas will be returning with our post-game halftime show.